you haven't already done so, please fill out the green slip at the rear of the room and hand it to the city clerk. She will call out your name as it's received. We would appreciate it if you keep your comments to 3 minutes.
Luther Holmes, 4142 Highland, Beaumont, Texas.
There are some issues more important than money and how to get it, and that's people. My name is Luther Holmes. I reside at 4142 Highland. I'm here in regard to a community concern. At the corner of Highland and Pipkin, the Dollar General location, the concern is that on the east side of the store is a water sprinkler that when it is turned on, it springs beyond the sidewalks, even unto the second lane of Highland going south. It is a great hazard as well as a potential fatality to pedestrians, vehicles, and babies who access the sidewalk to go back and forth to school. As citizens are forced to walk on the street to avoid getting soaking wet. On December the 13th, 2011, I called the main office about this issue. We hadn't received any response, and the problem hadn't been resolved. Yesterday, a blind man was walking right in the middle of Highland, and I asked, did he know that he was in the middle of the street? His reply was that he was trying to avoid getting soaking wet. Highland is one of the most traveled auto routes in Beaumont. So we called the Dollar General main store again. We've gotten no positive response. On the first conversation, it was asked of them if they could show some courtesy to the community and at least during commute hours of our babies going back and forth to school, could they cut it off. But all requests as today has went unheeded. We ask that the council would consider this injustice and move forward to its correction. The more delay is the increased chance of someone senseless injury or even death. The main Dollar General number is 1-800-678-9258. That's 1-800-678-9258. Thank you for your consideration. May God bless you. Good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
Bruce Hoffer, 2535 North Street, Beaumont, Texas.
Hello, this year I'm Bruce Hoffer, and I'm board certified in criminal law. I practice not only criminal law but family law in this area, and my office is at 2535 North Street. And I finally saw the lines go down on Calder, and now we have the lamps up instead of the electric lines. That's wonderful. And I know that we had a drought for 8 or 9 months last year, caused a lot of havoc to the city roads. They're still obviously in need of repair, in particular around North and 9th Street. I guess that's from the trucks running up and down to avoid Calder. Like Councilwoman Williams talked about picking up a rock, I have to tell you we are in the throes of registration for spring soccer. And when you're out there, don't throw rocks on the field. And also, if you haven't seen it, you need to come out and see the new indoor facility. It's wonderful. I think right now they're having some free training sessions for kids so that they can all get involved in soccer. And I guess on a day like today, sometimes when it's raining, it's a good thing to be indoors. So, I applaud you. I understand you were lightning fast last week because by the time I got here a little after 2, you're already adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
W.R. Sam, 1761 Rena Street, Beaumont, Texas.
Good evening. Thank you. I'd just like to say Happy New Year's to all of you. and hope we have a good year. I don't see a thing with us raising the standards of our community. I know that we're going to get these streets fixed eventually. That have to come. But that railroad station, that was a thing that people have been bugging me about, and I'm happy that you finally got around and got it done. And I support it 100%. I'm also happy that we didn't take it all the way out to the West End like we did the Social Security office. So, we just got to do it and get it done right. And I really stood up to say this. I do ride-alongs with the police quite often. And it's kind of aggravates me to watch them to do reports in their cars. It's not easy. You got all this stuff on you. You got to sit and you got all the stuff on the dashboard all around you, and you got to try to do a report. So I think it's a real good idea that we do something for these guys can sit down and do that report properly and not being all squished up. And when they got to meet and talk about the things that they need to talk about or some incident that just taken place out in the community, they could do it without, like in sardine box or something. So I commend you for what you've done and continue doing and support it wholeheartedly. And the restroom is needed at that train station. We need the substation for the police officer. And I think we need to show them the courtesy to try to make it as comfortable as we can for them when we can. And because they do sit in that car quite a bit. And it's not a fun thing. And the car's not that comfortable, Carl.
Thank you, Mr. Sam.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Go.
Oh, one more, sorry. Gwen Ambrose, 4615 Prairie Street, Beaumont, Texas.
Good afternoon. Didn't really expect to speak today, but after the prior discussion, I felt like I should because, coincidence, I became an Amtrak rider. This past August, I took a train trip from Beaumont and wound up in Calgary, Canada. And as you make your decision, I want you to keep in mind that it's not just getting from point A to point B. The train ride itself is part of the vacation. And I swear I saw the most beautiful scenery in this country. I mean, just the most gorgeous. I couldn't even imagine it. It was a wonderful trip, and I learned about it by word of mouth. And the person that told me also learned about it from a friend. So I do feel that your foresight, and I applaud that, in getting that facility built at the Amtrak station. The restrooms, you can't ask people to gather and wait without having a restroom. To me, that seems just like a no-brainer. But, and also the substation, I feel that it would be a deterrent. More so than video surveillance, because people who do the wrong thing, they don't really care about a camera. That's later, and they figure, hey, you'll never catch me. But the idea that there may be a policeman physically, right on the premises is a bigger deterrent. But I would tell you that train travel is becoming more and more popular. It is a more economical way to travel. It is part of the vacation, and I feel like the council, in their foresight, in building a nice facility there, which I visited some along my route, and the small stations, there was artwork, and there were, there was music playing, and it was just an enhancement to the trip. So I applaud you for that, and I tell you that you can expect train travel to increase, and especially now that we have a very nice facility, a very safe facility for people to wait for the train and to catch the train. And so I just wanted to say that that I applaud your foresight in that. Thank you.
You, Ms. Ambrose.
Uh-huh.
Is there any other citizen who wishes to speak today? If there is no one, we are now adjourned. Thank you all for